Now, the funny thing is when I'm selling an aquarium, it's not that uncommon for someone to ring up and complain. The glass is faulty, but glass has a high surface tension, so you'll get all these bubbles at the start. That's pretty normal. And then if you just go and run your magnet cleaner over them, then you'll break the surface tension of the glass, and then it will be all lovely and clear again. The thing that surprises people these days is how cheap an aquarium is to actually run now. Because in the old days, we used to run things like metal halide or T8 tubes that used a lot more electricity than these LEDs use next to nothing. And the air pumps now only run on a few watts. Things like your canister filters run with very, very little electricity. So particularly compared to the old days, the amount of electricity a tank like this will use is unbelievably efficient. Also, the amount of water age you use is much less because they're very concentrated. And even the amount of food you feed is much less. Because when you feed food, which is at the ratio absorption of the fish, you actually don't need to feed as much. Better quality foods need to be fed less. Lower quality foods need to be fed more in the hope of giving the fish what they need. But a higher concentrated nutrient food is so much cleaner if not overfed. With the super high nutrient foods, if you overfeed them, a lot of them will actually be quite dirty. And that's why you got to watch the belly of the fish. I tend to feed the fish about 5 times a week. So I don't tend to feed them every day. And then I tend to just watch their belly and then slowly increase or decrease over time, knowing that it's probably going to take at least a month to make any difference whatsoever. Hey, mate. Yeah. One thing that I often say is I don't care how nice your house is. A well-maintained aquarium will blow away anything in your house. I have customers with like $20 million water views, and then they go and spend $5,000 on an aquarium, and they're absolutely shocked that the fish tank becomes a window to look in the water as opposed to their $5 million water view, which might just be a window that looks at the water. So it is amazing how much of a feature an aquarium will become in the home. It's something that the whole family can really enjoy, but I am definitely a big fan of education. It's really worth teaching the other people in your family about the tank, because in general, the more you learn about something, the more you tend to understand it, and the more passionate you tend to be about it. So I think education is absolutely key for making sure that the people in your family really have an opportunity to enjoy these fish in the way that you do. Teach them about the fish's personalities. Teach them about how the fish are interacting and getting along, and teach them how most of the physical and biological processes occur within the aquarium, and you'll be surprised. Sometimes you might have like a wife or someone that is really against the aquarium, and then once they actually get to know the fish and they really get to see what it's all about, sometimes people that are the biggest critic end up being one of the biggest aquarium fans. This is the heater. The heater keeps the tank at 25 degrees. You can set the heater, you can turn it up or turn it down, and basically the heater will come on if the temperature is below what it's set for. But you got to make sure you have a thermometer as well. In this case, we have a thermometer here, and the thermometer is for checking the temperature. The heater is for setting the temperature. Now, the only other thing you could consider for this aquarium is if you wanted to, you could get like a power head for some extra water flow. You would not need it. This tank is set up totally perfectly the way it is, but I do like having extra water flow in the tank, and I like the fact that the fish can swim against that water flow. See when you're bumping the light, it's changing the color of the light?
It is.
Yeah, so when you tap the different things, that you'll change the setting by tapping it. Pretty cool, eh? It's a really nice looking light, actually. I'm a big fan of making sure you have the right tools. Now, having a good magnet cleaner like this, with the razor blade, is something I want to see. And I'd also get yourself some Max Spec claws. Because this tank is actually fairly deep, you can be uninspired to do little things like range the tank. And if you've got like a nice set of claws, it's a really handy thing just to make your life easier. Populating this aquarium up, the boss of the tank is the most important fish. If you have a good boss, then what a good boss should do is give everyone a little bit of a chase but not hurt anyone. If you get a bad boss that just starts picking on certain fish all the time, it can actually start knocking your fish off. So if you get a bad boss, there's a few things you can do. One is get more fish, because getting more fish can distract and disorientate the aggressive fish. Or you can try putting in another fish that might dominate that fish, so it's no longer the dominant fish. Or if that doesn't work, you're better off getting rid of it, because you don't want bad culture. If you've got a pain in the neck fish, then it's likely to teach your other fish to be a pain in the neck. So if you get a fish that's not behaving itself, it's better to get rid of it, bring it down the aquarium shop, because even if it's a royal pain in the ass in your tank, you might take that same fish to another tank where it's in a different position as far as social structure is concerned, and it might not cause the other person any problem whatsoever. So if in doubt, get it out. If anything goes on with your aquarium that you're not sure of or you're not confident with, you make us a video so we can see what's going on. We can see in your cupboard. We can see all your bits and pieces. Bring us a water sample and then we can guide you. And make sure you follow our YouTube channel, Majestic Aquariums TV. For more information on anything, you can use the search bar and just write filter or air pump or food or whatever you want, and it comes up with hundreds of videos to help you out. Having the right cleaning equipment is very important. Now, these Seachem algae pads, which are good for acrylic or glass, I actually think they work quite magically. I don't actually know how they work, but anytime I've used these on the glass, I'm actually really surprised how quickly it removes the algae. So you really want to find products that work for you, and anything that makes your job easier, makes your aquarium more enjoyable. But also, if you ever get too busy, lazy, distracted, then you can always get us to service your aquarium. So you can always contact us at the aquarium and we can come and service your tank for you so you don't have to. Or the other thing we can do is put you on a monthly phone call. Because what we'll do for some customers is just call them up every month. You know, how you doing? How's your tank? And that month you might say, hey, look, I've got it all under control. It's all good. Speak to you next month. Or you might have some questions to ask us while we're on the phone. Or you might say, hey, look, I haven't looked after my tank properly, so how about you come over and get it done? And sometimes just knowing you get that phone call once a month sometimes puts you in gear to actually do the tank yourself. Or also sometimes having that phone call every month is quite good, as far as if you are too busy and you're not getting it done, then at least somebody else is holding you to account. Because you really want to be servicing a tank like this about once a month, and that way you'll keep it under control. If you start going months and not servicing it, then things tend to spiral out of control. So a lot of the time you'll say, oh, I cleaned it last month. But you didn't clean it last month at all. You actually cleaned it months ago, because time goes so damn fast. If you're not writing things down, then that might just add to all the rest of the delusions you've got going on in your life. So regular servicing is really the key. And if you're too busy, we can always help you.